there's a lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender magazine called The Advocate, and they put out what has now been revealed to be a complete hoax. They call it the religious exemption, Sodomy for suicide bombers. Now this is what it says. Suicide bombers were allowed to ask fellow militants for anal sex so that it would be easier to hide explosives in their rectums, at least according to a researcher at a conservative think tank. Raymond Ibrahim, a fellow at the conservative David Horowitz Center, said he's found a 2010 Arab News in which a Muslim cleric is caught explaining why sodomy is permissible if part of martyrdom operations. Is it permissible for me to let one of the jihadi brothers, sodomize me to widen my anus if the intention is good? Someone asked cleric Abu al-Dima al-Kastab, according to Ibrahim's account. Although the cleric reminds everybody that sodomy is forbidden, he offers an exception. Jihad comes first, he said, according to Ibrahim's translation, for it is the pinnacle of Islam, and if the pinnacle of Islam can only be achieved through sodomy, then there is no wrong in it. This has been proven to be an absolute hoax. It's a complete lie invented by Raymond Ibrahim, a man at the David Horowitz Freedom Center. Now, I probably don't have to tell you who David Horowitz is. This is a man who once said that black people should be thankful that their ancestors were slaves that were brought to America because now they supposedly have better lives. David Horowitz is a tremendously questionable human being. Now, he claimed that it was a religious directive by Abdullah Hassan al-Siri, a broadcast on Fadak TV in 2010, an Arabic news video. Now, a link to all of this is in the description, so you can go ahead and check that, and it will have a link to the actual TV broadcast and everything. In actuality, this was a joke posted online that was never meant to be taken seriously. That has been picked up and then taken as though it were an actual statement. And there's much more going into all of that in the article about this that's linked in the description. Now, keep in mind that this is coming from David Horowitz, a man who is not a legitimate source for anything, a man who's come very close to defending the Holocaust and has defended the murdering of so many Africans in the slave trade. So the man himself should be taken with a grain of salt. This whole claim by this, this sexual minority magazine that sodomy was being justified by jihadists in order to hide explosives was a complete fraud right from the beginning. And the Advocate, they really, really need to print a retraction because they were really once a progressive organization, and just over the last while they've turned into just a complete Islamophobic rag.